All right.
Is it
So
about the Trello?
I held one last week, and only like what Deck came and who else came?
And 2 people came late. I think it was
Yeah,
Space and Anthony.
yeah, Space and
One was a
Anthony.
George.
Or
Forgot who.
no, George wasn't here at that time.
Oh yeah, I
Remember?
forgot.
Yeah. So, well, Deck, you want to explain to them what we talked about?
I have no clue.
No,
Oh, I
because
remember a little
I
bit. We're
know.
doing
Yeah, I
first
know. I mean,
discipline.
yeah. First was discipline. Discipline. There's no like actual way to train discipline. That's the thing. That's what. That's one of the topics that we went over.
Makes
Discipline.
sense.
There isn't an
No,
actual way. Like
no.
making a guy
You
chop logs for a bunch of time isn't going to teach him anything but waste his time. But then again, what did you have to say, Ruben?
It's not that it doesn't teach. Like, no, you
You
can't.
can't really like teach discipline.
No,
It's not like a
here's what I'm gonna say. Here's
teachable
what I'm gonna
thing.
say.
It's like
Here's what I'm gonna say.
experience.
Hold
Oh
on,
no,
hold on, hold
Cooler
on. No,
can't
no,
hear
no, no.
us.
Here's what I'm gonna say. You can't teach discipline. A soldier is if a soldier doesn't respect you, it's because of a certain reason. If a soldier doesn't respect you, it's mainly because either two reasons. Because he doesn't like you, he hates losing battles, and he still has to stick by and lose his loot with you, because or else he's gonna get DD'd. And that's either that or he just wants to stick with you, and or they don't like you in a either personal level. Now, personally, in a personal level, you can't do anything. Like, unfortunately, if the soldier hates you in a personal way, there is absolutely nothing you can do. But if a soldier hates you because you're not the best of leaders, then that's one way
Yeah,
to
that
create
yeah.
discipline. A soldier isn't going to disrespect you because of no reason unless it's just personally. You have some beef with them or some shit. Because
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
win battles, I bet no. I mean, from what I've seen, nobody has disrespected me.
Yeah, that's why it's good to take criticism and like for example, Lakers, we give him criticism all the time. He doesn't listen like somewhat he somewhat listens, but most of the time that's why like sometimes he's struggling with us and he's getting mad and like all this stuff. For example, with Ruben and King yesterday, I don't know what happened, but they were going at each other's throat at a personal level. And also 2 days ago about Horg and like all that stuff. We got in an argument, that stuff. I know it was kind of pointless, but like at the same time, it was kind of annoying in a way. To like, but Lakers is Lakers. So
Well, I'll just say this right now. You when it comes down to like all this, like, and people saying, "Oh yeah, we need to train our soldiers," like I still see people doing shit trainings, and
yeah, I know we have to enforce that. That's why Lakers and I talked about it like what 2 weeks ago, but it never got implemented. It's like
and
NCO.
also,
It's like
also,
NCO trainings and stuff,
this
teaching them
is
how to
just
lead, how to
this is
like.
not what this is one thing I'm gonna say. An NCO or a rank that's high isn't a rank that should just be that should just be covered. If you have let's for example, if I have a soldier and I clearly know he's not good enough for whatever, let's say Master Sergeant, but I put him at Master Sergeant because I just want to keep that spot filled. That's not helping anybody, and that's definitely not
Yeah,
helping your
that's not
garrison.
help.
Because
You guys want, yeah,
you're literally throwing somebody, giving them a lot of responsibility, and on top of that, they don't even know what to do. That's why you need to realize that you need to train your guys. It's not always about training your rankers. It's also about how you discipline and train your NCOs. If you don't give any NCOs any information, or you don't give any of your NCOs anything to grab onto, then they're just gonna fall. They're not gonna go off of anything, and they're not gonna be able to climb up. And then it's just gonna look bad on the garrison as a whole, not on just your troop, as a garrison. So if you really think about it, it's not, being part of a garrison. You really have to think about. You really got to throw your mindset of being selfish out the window and bring in the mindset that you need to think of it as a team. You need to think of how it's going to succeed as a team, not as a not as yourself. If you know that you don't qualify for that rank, and you know that you don't have enough time, or you don't have enough of this, or you don't have enough of that, you shouldn't be at that rank. If you don't have enough time, you shouldn't be at that rank. If you don't have enough patience, you shouldn't be at that rank. If you can't lead, then maybe you should gain more experience. That's how it
Yeah,
should be. It shouldn't be, hey, I need to fill in the spot, you get it.
yeah,
That's
that's what
not
I'm
how it should
saying.
be.
I see a lot of
Because
guys
at
like
that
getting
point, it's just throwing
Ruben.
somebody that's not useless. Alright, go ahead, guys.
Ruben.
Go ahead.
I also see a lot of guys. I know you want to fill up those spots, but like you have to fill them up with like expanding on what Ruben said. You have to expand those guys with like good people. I see too many people getting like from like what Lance Corporal all the way to like Sergeant or something. I mean, if you're desperate and like you clear with either Lakers' eye and like we understand it, then maybe we'll let you. But sometimes I see what like the master sergeants and like some like the warrant officers or maybe the ensigns like free ranking people. That's not okay.
That's
Unless
another
you
thing.
that's yeah, that's another thing. Like and then look, the next like what 2 days to get removed. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Also, another thing.
Only
You guys
if you're gonna do that, you have to know that the guy's capable. Like just going off of one experience, like for example, let's see, they did well against the patrol, and they were like what screaming orders, like just like basic orders, like push, fall back, whatever, all that stuff, and you like, oh, this guy's good. You have to like analyze them further, and, like
Alright,
keep a
also
constant eye on them. That's how you
another
choose your NCOs. Also, before like the NCO tryouts and all that, I know we don't host that anymore, but or not as much, but you shouldn't just rely on that. You have to be in game. You have to monitor. You have to supervise
also
training.
another thing. Another thing. We're gonna go off another thing. You guys really need to everybody needs to start, I guess you can say, like, yeah, I guess you can say, stop being too stop like giving up, I guess you can say,
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's yeah,
like
I agree.
there's too many people that, and especially high ranks, that literally they get on, then they do one thing, get off, and think it's the day. That's not how you do it. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't do that sometimes. Yes, okay, well sometimes I do to take a break, and that's
Yeah.
usually because
I
I
mean,
have
yeah, it's
something
acceptable
outside
that
of
you take a break,
this.
but
But
it shouldn't be like
if
repetitive.
you come in and you are already doing something, like once when you have a rank, especially like a lieutenant rank, you have to realize that that rank isn't something to take a joke around. When somebody asks you to rank, you should be there. And now I'm not saying, oh yeah, pull an all nighter just so people can be ranked. No, I'm saying that for the couple hours that you're on, for like let's say the 2 3 hours that you're on, you should be the most and the best of your the most and the most I mean of your activity. Because if you're not, there's no point. There should be constant patrols by lieutenant, and when I mean patrols, I mean going to islands and more often. That way, the garrison gets used to and meets everybody, and knows how they command. Because if you don't command, nobody's gonna know how. Nobody's gonna know how you are. They're just gonna know that you recruited them, and that's it. They don't know anything else. If you have the rank of a higher than a warrant officer, you should be more than capable of leading, and you should be more than capable of being able to understand what you did wrong or what they did wrong in the middle of battle. If you are just sitting there and firing your gun and not paying attention to what's happening in the real
Mm.
occasion, then you really shouldn't have the rank. And that's because you really have to pay attention to these things,
I
because
mean,
it's
yeah,
really
it's
important to think about
perfectly
it.
fine. It's perfectly fine if you start out as a warrant officer and you don't know how to lead that well. You just learn from your higher ups because they're put into that position because one, they're active, two, they might be a good recruiter, three, they're excellent leader. There's multiple reasons why they got
Also,
put in the position that they are today.
also look at this. Look at this. If
Yeah.
one person
What?
does, if one person does one good thing, and they actually like, let's say they're a really good like recruiter. They recruit 20 people a day. Yes, that's good. That's really good. But if they can't, if they don't, if they like being when you're a leader, you also have to realize that when you lose, you have to accept that. Like, you're not going to go back to that one moment and be like, oh yeah, no, we didn't lose that. No, if you lost the battle, you lost the battle, and don't blame that on anybody else, especially if it was your fault, because it shouldn't. Like, it should not be blamed on anybody else unless it was clearly shown. And also, if you the thing is that a lot of people have to stop getting scared of losing. You're going to lose, and that's just the reality of it. If you're scared of losing, then you're never gonna gain experience. It's
Yes,
just not gonna be
and
it's not gonna be enough to you're never gonna gain experience enough so you can actually do
the
things.
only way to do experience is through failure. Every single time you
I
fail
didn't
at
just
leading,
I didn't just hop on TNF one day and gain a bunch of
yeah,
experience.
exactly. The thing
I
is,
didn't
Ruben and I, and probably a couple other people, whenever we lead, if we lose, we always like think about why we lost. Was it us? Was it the men? If it was the men, we go and like train their weaknesses. We train what they did wrong. If it's us, we would figure out how to like position ourselves better, how to time things correctly, whatever it takes you to win a battle, that's what you have to. Yeah, if you, I think is
Yeah.
Wrinkler,
also
you
No,
can't
no.
really.
Yeah, no. See, if you want to teach discipline, right? All you need to do, you can take the men out into the frontier. You teach them how to move. You teach them that don't go over
Yes,
hills, just
that's
go around them. And then it slowly builds up that discipline when you start nagging at them when they do things wrong.
exactly
yeah, that's right.
that's more than enough. That's something that's gonna build over time, and
Uh,
that's and like over if you do it
What?
constantly, and if you have a bunch of your NCOs doing
What?
that constantly, then you'll do
What?
it. And then that's where
uh,
you'll
they'll
actually
know
get
they'll know
there.
off by heart
What?
when
Stop!
they're moving
What?
on an island. When there's a
What?
blizzard and shit, they'll know off by heart that they go
What
round
do you
that
want?
hill
What do you
instead
want?
of up above it, and then that fucks up the battle. So another thing you said about the NCOs, if you have an open NCO position and you don't really have anyone capable to fill that position, fill it with people and try them out because you said they were never going to get experience. So let them get experience, let them try it out for a couple days, and then switch out with another person. Because you're always going to get a good apple out of a bunch of bad ones.
Exactly.
I actually agree with that. Actually, that is actually a good idea. If someone look, if you want to give everyone a chance, that's what Lakers was talking about the other day. It's
Exactly.
not fair to skip over someone's rank. That's one, but what Mick Wrinkler's talking about is like give everyone experience. Like for example, give someone a corporal spot that you think that someone's active. They have a mic. Just give them experience. Let them host patrols or whatever. Get them how to
Give them
like
a
position.
chance.
Give them a chance to
But
position.
don't now.
Like
This comes
learn
down
how
to an
to
exception.
position.
Now
How to
this comes down to an exception though. Don't just give a rank away if you clearly know the person doesn't have experience.
yeah
And that's
yeah
like if you
that's
and you clearly know that they're gaining experience, but they need to learn. Don't don't just give them that. Now, if
thing
it's
is
somebody that's like a lance corporal and you think that they're there and you think that they can achieve it, then go ahead, give
thing
them that
is
experience.
when I first joined HBC, I learned from like what my lieutenants, my captains, my majors, and I've learned from like my sergeants even, and like I just like studied how they like take like the approach that they use to take things, and like
Give
I just it just I learned it through them.
like
I just
temporarily
like
like give somebody a rank and like see how well they like do, and then like switch off with somebody else, and whoever does like the
I
best,
mean if they
or
do
like
good, you can keep them
No,
at
it
the
that's
rank.
you see. Here's the
It's
thing. Here's the thing.
it's
That then becomes an NCO tryout, and that doesn't really help.
yeah, that's true. That's
Also,
true.
another thing, we need to focus more on combat. Like
Yes, combat.
I went into that training just there, and there was a
yeah,
lot of time, a very long amount of
Yeah,
time
yeah.
spent on faces
Yeah. I'm
and
talking to people.
all that shit.
That's
And
what I said.
we
Don't
need
do
to get it in
faces.
combat.
Faces are just useless in
Faces.
all in
No, we know
everything.
this. All of us in these
I
comments
think
know this. We're officers and master sergeants. We
we
know
should like
this.
put like an
Thing is, we
announcement.
have
Like
to. Hold on, here on. Let me talk real quick. Thing is, we know that we don't do faces, don't do like all these formations and stuff, and focus more on combat. But the thing is, our NCOs don't do that, and we're
can I
not
just say
communicating that to them.
That's another thing that you were saying
no?
about the officers. You need to monitor these trainings
Yes,
and
that's
make
what I'm
sure
saying.
these
You need
new
a mon.
rules.
Whenever someone needs training, there should always be like what a master sergeant above monitoring them. If they do
No, it
something
should
wrong,
definitely.
correct them. That's the
Here's the
thing.
thing.
I
That
need to
should
see that
definitely be a
more.
job of a master sergeant. A master sergeant just doesn't recruit, fill in a spot, and then leave. No, like you really, a master sergeant should always be
Yeah,
doing
he
that.
should
Like,
be the one that are be raising the
cause
future
you're no,
NCO.
cause that's literally your squad. That's your squad. That you put that person in your squad. You need to make sure that they're actually capable of doing that thing. If you're just sitting there making them saying that they're good, but then you go into their training one time and they're doing nothing, it's not gonna work out. Like
I think like
don't
we should.
what I'm trying to say is
Uh,
don't all rely on one person. All
yeah,
everybody
Yeah,
should
that's
be
true.
working as a team. If
Yep.
you're relying on one person, that one person eventually is going to give up. And that one
Yeah,
person is
that
eventually
person will get
to leave.
worn out. He will get
That
tired.
one
yeah,
person will eventually leave.
I've been
And
in that
then what
position.
else? What's out? The garrison has nobody. Don't do
another,
that.
yeah. Another thing. See if the private or such doesn't actually know faces. Take them out of training and do a 1-to-1 with them, or maybe a 1-to-2, because there might be the odd chance that they might actually need to know what faces and shit are. So take them out and just go have a run over with it, and slowly after they go training. So at the start of a training, they'll be like, oh, left face, then right face, then state your terms, and then that's it. That's that. On to the combat. So they might need, so they'll build up over time the faces just in case that small moment that they actually need to know it.
Think of what we should do is like make an announcement to our NCOs or corporals
Yes,
and
I'm
sergeants
recording this
of
right
doing.
now. I'm
Yeah, I
recording it.
think we should put out like an announcement for our corporals and sergeants of like what to do and what not to do, because I see a lot of
Because
times.
you know you were doing those training.
No, and now like everything has changed, so now I know like don't do freaking faces, don't do like useless stuff now. Just do more about combat,
That's
more
good.
about.
That's my point.
Yeah,
You're
that's the
gaining
Yeah.
point. Okay,
experience.
okay.
That's my point. You're gaining experience.
Adding to
Just
that, whenever you see someone good, promote them. Don't hesitate to give people promotions because promotions give like raise morale. They make the rankers want to like stay in this garrison. They want them to like rank up more. Ranks are
Yeah,
one of the reasons why people stay in this or stay in HPC or
What I
stay.
I think it's the
exactly.
main reason
Because
why it is.
Yeah,
thing
that's
is, I
that
just
no, not the main. That's
that
money
no,
too.
no,
Money too. We get paid too. That's one.
No, well,
To,
that's just people that want to. That's just like
yeah.
mainly faction hoppers that want the
What I
money.
was thinking is like
no, but you.
that's the reason why we have to purge all of our garrisons. You guys need to give
yeah.
people chances, give them
Oh,
promotions.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up. But recruits, don't recruit speds. Just don't.
You
Like
won't know
seriously,
how they
dude.
are. You won't know who are
No,
the
We
Hispanic
have
who's
no
not.
idea.
You have no
no,
idea.
no. And you know it right off their how they're talking. If they say, "Hey, can I join your platoon?" They're clearly not in the right time, and you
Exactly.
shouldn't recruit them.
If
And
someone doesn't follow the format I post, I don't
Yeah,
recruit
I
them as a
don't. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
garrison.
dude,
recruit them
it's
as a
mad
And
simple.
That's right.
It's mad simple. If they don't meet the requirements, then they shouldn't be recruited. It's that simple. Do not
also,
recruit somebody because you
I just,
want numbers. That's not how you're trying to go
I
for it.
was
yeah,
That
I
thinking.
just
know,
did a
but
lot.
I know, but another thing, make sure your NCOs know the difference between speds and new people, because if we're hostile to new people, that'll fuck up the game
Yeah,
as a
that's
as a
yeah,
whole.
that's you
Hey,
have.
dude,
We have
don't.
to
Yeah,
talk to.
exactly. You no.
When I want
Now
to
we
promote
really gotta
somebody,
enforce that. Don't the word spend when you're using that. Use it in the, at least use it in the correct term. Don't just say, "Hey, you sped," and they're clearly new. If they're clearly new, you need to be patient. That's why an officer has to be patient. You have to be patient with your people. If they're clearly new and they clearly don't understand what you're talking about, teach them. That's why you have that rank.
so
That's why
think
you
of
have
what
that rank to teach them.
About
Don't just
promotions?
sit there and be lazy. It's better for you to teach them and act and make them learn something than just sit there.
The thing about promotions, when I see somebody do well, I don't want to promote them automatically. I want to have permission from like a lieutenant or like a warrant officer or something like that.
Look,
Yeah,
you
the
don't have
thing
to.
is,
Promote him.
That's old days. Look, that's old days. I don't know why
Okay.
you're
I
stuck in
mean,
those
you
times.
still have to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
you still have to
Look,
let
no,
them
no,
know,
like-
but
no.
like,
What I'm saying, no, it's not necessarily permission. It's up to your knowledge. If
yeah, it's
you
up to
realize
if
that
you,
this
yeah,
person's good, and you realize that this person, like the lieutenant, trusts you enough that you think that this person's good. If you are, if they trust you with that, we're giving you the freedom. That's why the master sergeant has that rank. That's why you have that rank. Corporals are exceptions though, because I don't know. I don't personally I don't go off of corporals' words. But I do like that they are training. But if sergeants and master sergeants, you clearly have you clearly made it to that rank, and you clearly have enough experience that I at least trust you that you are going to give um that person the right rank. So I trust that now to an extent though.
anything else you want to say? Anyone from anyone?
Blackhawk is a good game.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
true.
And then let's see what else.
That's it.
I think that's really all it is, unless somebody else has somebody else to say.
All right. How are we gonna fix that? How? That's
What fix what? We
fix
talked about.
everything that we've talked about. Like we can. We thing is about these meetings. We're here to
See, a
like
lot of these
how to
things that we
fix
can
it.
fix are not that hard to fix.
They're not
We
hard to
just need,
fix, but like we aren't collaborating on how to fix it.
and that's not our. Well, at the end of the day, that's not our. That
Okay.
it's all down to Lakers, right?
Yeah, that's true. We can only do things to a certain extent. Lakers can shut it down. Either he's like the president. He can shut it down or he can approve of it.
90% it's an approval. It's a disapproval, but we'll see how it goes. Do I think that one way to fix one of the problems that we were talking about were our recruits? Yeah, just make sure you know your recruits well as soon as you meet them. Also, that's one problem fixed. Actually, don't instead of you calling new people speds, you should actually
Yeah, you should
correct
never
yourself.
lower the morale. That's
Yeah,
one
instead
thing.
of you
The
correct
main
and
reason why people leave is because they think the officers hate them. And
and
that's not necessarily true. You don't even know them. And but you call them sped because look, they're new at the game. They don't know what certain things are. And you call them sped. They just think that like
no,
HBC is
that's
bad or whatever.
that's another fix that can be fixed extremely easily. Everybody can, all the officers can fix their language. That's all it is.
Yeah, just fix it. Yeah. Like including myself and Lakers. I'm pretty sure all of us have like one time gotten mad and just like cursed out the entire year. But you know.
I don't recall, but I do recall Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers.
So that's a daily thing.
Yeah, that's a daily thing. I just don't recall myself doing that. I mean, I probably have. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I don't recall.
All right. All right. Now final. Is
And
that
then
everyone?
what else? Trainings like those types of trainings that we were saying. Oh, that's another fix that we can fix. You can fix it by we'll go with the NCOs thing. The giving chances to the NCOs. That's easy. Just give chances to the NCOs.
Just
Um,
observe them more.
yeah,
That's it.
observe them and just give them the chance. Give them a chance. Give them like a 2-day chance.
Okay.
If they're
All
not
right.
proving themselves that they're active or they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then demote them.
Hey,
Another
Deck, do you have
thing.
anything to say? Deck? Because you've been quiet.
Yeah, Dick, you've been quiet this
Yeah.
entire time.
Anything you want to
Even
say?
though even your officers, you and Cooler too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooler's
Cooler
not
came
even.
in
I'm just
talk.
naturally, if you like, I'm always a
Are you
quiet
playing Rise of
person.
Nations?
Anthony, what were you about to say?
Anyway,
So I might quickly leave the game before they see me.
talking about the trainings, I think it's time to like sit down with the rest of the officers, probably make a new training manual. So that's all like
You
Yeah,
see,
sure.
I could make a new training manual, but I really should. There's no point in
It's like I gotta do something.
even then. A lot of our NCOs should start like opening their eyes and realizing that they should be creative.
Yeah,
The best trainings are always the ones that are creative and the ones that are made not in a book, in something that that you actually make out yourself. That way every person that's in their trainings gets a different experience. For example, if I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know, they
not
get in a
no
different
every boring thing. That's
yeah,
the
because
main point right there. You don't
if you
post
make
something
if you
over
make
and
it
over and it's repetitive, and your rankers
it's
will get
literally
bored.
school. It turns into school, and
Yeah,
nobody.
kind of.
That's I don't think anybody wants that.
What?
So you
All
got to
right.
realize that a training manual. Yes, I could make one, but there's no point into doing that. Although yes, it makes the life of the ensign and all of us easier. Yes, of course it does. But it's not really teaching anybody anything other than the fact that you shouldn't just do the exact same thing off of paper. When you're leading, that's not how it works. You don't copy something off of a paper and you win.
Yeah, that's yeah. Thing
When
is,
you're creative, that teaches more. Um,
the thing is, the only thing that they're good for is to like give examples on like
but
what
even then, they
type of
use
things
it too
you could
literal.
do.
They take
Yeah,
it too
you don't
literal.
take it too literal. They're just examples. You shouldn't just copy it, you know? And
You see, but
we
that's
should
not
really
something you
talk
can
to the
trust.
NCOs about that. I was thinking about adding the NCOs to this meeting, but like that would take too much work. Like regarding like times and stuff. That's why I'm recording this, so
What
I'm
do you
gonna
do
share.
NCO with? Wait, there's very any NCOs not even way. There's only
Yeah,
just for
you guys
Jake and
gotta fix
Jacko.
your
Well,
NCOs.
meaning, well, here's the thing. Here's
Ruben,
the
you're
thing.
low on NCOs. Try to find some.
No, I
Give
have sergeants. I just don't have
yeah, get
corporals.
that's what I'm saying. Find people who are capable. Like observed, like what we've just talked about. Deck,
I know.
Easier said than done.
Your NCOs, some of them need better, like more work.
A lot of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need work. So keep an eye on them, train them. Tell your master sergeant.
So, someone I have seen that is doing good in your garrison, or not garrison, but your troop deck is just for.
This too.
One thing I gotta
Just
go
for
quick.
K.
I gotta eat.
I'm watching him right now. He looks like he looks like he knows what he's doing. I'm watching his training. It's pretty creative in my opinion. He's moving them around a lot, teaching them new things, stuff that I have never seen.
Don't mind me.
Yeah,
All right, I'm
I'm
gonna wrap
trying
it up since everyone just left. All right.
to. Well, Deco.